So our last speaker on the local Falmouth group is Hilde Maingay from the Green Center. As you heard her say earlier, she actually, for many years, has had a composting toilet in her house with Earl. And they've been advocates of composting toilets and urine diverting systems that did receive funding in the town vote last spring. And there's a lot of interest in that. So.
This is bad news. We only have one planet. And we are living right now as if we have more than one planet. We actually right now globally live on 1.4 planets. And on the Cape, we live probably with the resources as if we have 3 planets. And as far as I know, that is unsustainable. It means we are living on our capital instead of our interest. And that is unsustainable. So what happens here on the Cape? We have dense housing, and food comes in, food gets eaten, consumed, food gets wasted, and it all ends up together with lots of pure drinking water in our estuaries. And it's a waste to waste to waste system. We are dying. Lots of them are already on their way to dying. We hope they're not dead, because we can't revive anything that's dead. But if it's still on life support, maybe we can do something. The present systems that have been easy to get regulated and permitted are the sewer systems. We have heard this many times today. They are large scale, high intensive in energy, nutrient wasting, very expensive, and they're permanent infrastructure. That permanence is very, very important. There's no flexibility. Once you build them, they're there. They're there forever. Even if you don't need them anymore, even if the flood comes in and they break them, you're going to have to pay for years and years to come. If you have fewer people, more people, it is completely non-resilient. And it's a very important point because our world is changing extremely rapidly. And speed matters. And we're talking about this problem with nitrogen for years, for generations. We don't do anything. And people say, oh, it's so important we do this fast. And nothing is happening. We have these conferences and nothing is happening. And in the meantime, we just keep CO2 emissions. We said we were going to bring them down. You know, we had Kyoto. And what happened? Instead of that, we have risen by 49%. We have CO2 emissions higher last year than ever before. Even though the economy went down, it is still worse than ever before. If you think that's going to be sustainable, I don't think so. We had agreed that 2 degrees of increase in temperatures would be catastrophic. The scientists agree that it's too much, but that's the only thing they could agree to. And they have finally calculated how much carbon can we put into the air before we have reached that point of 2 degrees, and after which it is irreversible. And we have no idea how the system, the ecosystem on the planet will react to this. And this is serious. And if we go on the way we do now, that point, they know exactly 890,000 tons or whatever CO2 can still be emitted before we reach that point. We reach that point in 2024. That's not hundreds of years ago, that is around the corner. And by which we have absolutely no idea. We just keep driving, we keep pumping the water through, we keep wasting, and we just keep going, as if nothing else is happening. Well, unfortunately, we know what's better to do. We know how to do it better because our ecosystem that we depend on, that is on this planet, given to us, and it's the only system we have. And it's the only system that sustains human life. We only have one system, it's the ecosystem. And we should duplicate that. However, sewer systems are exactly opposite. It's a complete waste from point A to B. It's burn, 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 but all the other systems that we just talked about so many times, try to regulate them, try to get them in your plan and get approved. It's almost impossible. I'm so glad that EPA was here and had some positive notes. I've never been so positive in the last, whatever, years, because I heard something I had never heard. wastewater plants are not sustainable. So there are two systems. There's the flush, the happy flush toilets. Those are called disposal systems. And then there's the collection and recovery systems. I'm completely in favor of the collection and recovery systems because that is what nature intended to do. Now look at this. This is our flush and happy flush system. And what we're doing is all that water gets used to remove those 2 barrels of human waste. So if we put all that waste that we make per person in a barrel, that's 2 barrels that we have to remove per year. Well, we can do it many ways. We can collect it right at home. We can start using urine diverting toilets. Many have talked about it. It's a very easy way to do it. And we should be paid indeed for getting our urine removed from our house because it's extremely valuable material. This is our toilet at home. 5 to 10 watts per hour. They're making them now at 3 watts per hour. Reduces waste by 90%. Makes high grade compost. There's, by the way, there's compost on the table there if you want to look at it. There are many different systems. There's small systems, there are big systems. The carousel, the cleavers, the phoenix, the aquatron, which I didn't have time to add into it. The aquatron can probably be put in more different housing situations than any other one. And there's the package. Now, people will just laugh at this. This is like so crazy. Well, if we start thinking about true change, we have to start thinking about real change. We're not starting to think about variations on the old system that got us in trouble in the first place. The old industrial systems do not work to keep us going. So we have to think in new ways. I'll get back to this one. So basically the waste goes in the package, you push on a paddle, the package closes up, but the waste is all enclosed, it falls in a box down below, in a little cardboard box. After you're done with it, all the packages are used, you take the box out, put it in your garbage can, and it gets collected by something, by surface, and they can compost and do something with it that's more useful. So we are very much in favor of nutrient recovery. That's what nature intended to do. We didn't, the system was not set up to waste everything. So here it is, nutrient recovery from composting toilets can be done locally. We can do it many different ways. We can store urine, we can compost it with kitchen waste, which is a huge amount of resource, and put it back on the land where it belongs. All these things have been mentioned before. Now, the nitrogen 72 homes, just to give you an idea how valuable it is, can fertilize 4,000 acres of lawn, 1,600 acres of vegetables, or 230 acres of bamboo. Bamboo likes a lot of nitrogen. So if you want to get rid of the nitrogen, you can grow bamboo, chop it up, or make poles, or use something, have carbon that we need for other systems. Now, speed matters. It doesn't seem like we are in any hurry. Year after year, we don't do anything. So, what about ecotoilets? We can recover 2 million pounds of nitrogen. This is all based on the 72 homes that we have to deal with first. We don't even talk about all the other houses that we have to deal with too. The gray water still enters the system. But in the meantime, we can put these guys in really fast. We could start putting them in tomorrow. The sewers take years of planning. After years of planning, they take years of building. And during all that time, the nitrogen keeps going into those ponds. So they always say, well, if you do composting toilets, you still have to do the gray water. Well, not really. 1 year of waiting for sewers is equivalent to 10 years of gray water going in from septic tanks. You wait 2 years for sewers? I have 20 years of gray water I can put in. I have 20 years to think about what I'm going to do with the gray water. So don't give me that whole idea that we have to wait till all the gray water systems are in place, that we finally figure it out, because it's nothing compared to what the sewers are doing of waiting and waiting and waiting. And then not even talking about all the infiltration and all the other problems that they have. Okay, back to Pacto. Well, Pacto systems cost $600. They can be installed instantly. It's a little box. They're used by military history. They have been used in Japan after the tsunami and all that. They have instant sanitation without any problems. After the problem has been resolved and other systems are in place, they pick up the box and give it to someone else who needs it. The cost for 72 homes would be $8 million. Well, if we start designing our place here, it would be, I don't know, 10, 20, 50 million dollars just to design our system. Who knows how much? So we can install these things in 1 to 2 years, instantly, anywhere in the house. Give people 2. Have the service come in, pick those packages up, just like your garbage every week, you know, or every other week, whatever it is. One garbage can is for garbage, one is for packaging of the human waste, and one is for kitchen garbage. Bring it to the right facility and compost it. Not very difficult, and it would solve a lot of problems. I mean it solves all the kitchen waste, and it can be mixed with wood chips, and it can be waste, and any of the landscape waste. All that can be mixed in an eco drum and composted, and a fantastic product comes out of it, and you put it back on the land, and you're done. Right now we're shipping 10 trucks of, I don't know how many, tons of sludge that's all toxic over the bridge, and put it into an incinerator and make things worse as it goes, and then put it in a landfill after it's incinerated, and we get nothing but pollution out of it. What is wrong with this? And people say about low cost. $8 million, so you can give people a lot of packages. They're biodegradable. You can give them for your whole life packages. So I don't think that's a problem. And I just wanted to show you that it takes a new way of thinking of how to deal with human waste, and it doesn't have to be expensive. And it is not the technology that is holding us back to come up with new ways of doing it the way the ecosystem has told us how to do it. They show us how to do it. And it is the political will and the regulator system that is holding us back to getting these systems in place that are extremely effective. So with that in mind, we can start opening up the discussion.